Hello and welcome back to my channel. And today I would like to talk about Dragonbane. Recently I made a video doing unprofessional unboxing of it. I was so happy that I have received these for free from Free League, and yeah, I just made that video. And since then I have been struggling on finding time to play, unfortunately. But now I had a few minutes and I said to myself, I definitely need to use this time to talk about Dragonbane. And I already had the opportunity to play it solo um, in the last weekend, and I was really impressed by how great it worked worked as a solo system. Um, for those that are not too much familiar to this system, it's I would say it's a D20 system. It's not a dice pool system, but it has 6 attributes, very similar to Dungeons and Dragons and other systems. But I would say that this is basically the only thing that is similar to these kind of systems, because it has all the mechanics and other stuff that are, I wouldn't say pretty unique, but it they match it really well together in this system. And I can just bring a character sheet. These are a pre-gen character sheet for Wolfking, this character here. And one can clearly see, okay, we do have the attributes strength, constitution, agility, intelligence, will, and charisma. As usual, okay, the wisdom is not wisdom, is will, but it's very similar to everything. The book suggests that we should roll 4d6 and remove the lowest die and then keep the rest. So very similar to what we used to do when we used to play AD&D in the 90s. We have a kin, that it's the race, age, profession. There is a weakness optional rule, and actually this book has a lot of optional rules that for me they should be just rules, because they add so much to the game that for me, at least for my taste, it should be default. And we have a damage bonus instead of +2 or +3. Actually, we have an additional die depending on how much strength you have. You can have a damage bonus on your melee attacks, or if you have high agility, you can have damage bonus on ranged attack by using this as well. So movement, inventory, abilities, and spells, basically where we have our, if you go to the D&D 3rd edition, we have the feats. So it's basically something like the feats, but we do have the skills. And the skills, they have their main attributes, and we have the base value that depends on the attributes that we have. And we do have weapon skills too, so it's not only general skills, but we have weapon skills and secondary skills that it depends. If you are a mage, for instance, you have your school is like a secondary school. Your magic school is a secondary skill in these lines here. Armor, helmet, willpower points, hit points. If you are familiar to Forbidden Lands, or actually any other system, but let's get Forbidden Lands because it's the system that they have that is closest to the fantasy medieval setting. I see Dragonbane like a merge of D&D and Forbidden Lands, because we do have the 6 attributes. Yes, it's a row under. We should roll below these values here in order to succeed. Very similar to D&D, and but we do have a way of pushing our rolls. So if I roll, for instance, acrobatics, and if I failed, I can choose to have one of these conditions here, and then I can re-roll my to see if I succeed or not. And if I have one conditions, for instance, let's see that I try to do an acrobatic maneuver, but I failed, and then I decide, okay, I'm going to re-roll it, but I'm going to be angry now. So it's like now I'm angry, and I'm going to try again. And every roll that requires intelligence should be rolled with a bane. And but what is a bane? A bane is basically roll with disadvantage. So in D&D, in the newest version of D&D 5e, we have advantage and disadvantage. We have these with other names. We call boons and banes, but they are cumulative. What I mean is, if I have, for instance, 2, 3, or 4 boons, I roll 4 d20s. And in the same way, if I have 3 banes, I roll 3 d20s and get the lowest number in this case. So they one boon, of course, it cancels one bane, and vice versa. So it's really simple. The mechanics are very easy, and I like it a lot. I like this merge of D&D and Forbidden Lands. And when I say D&D, I'm not saying 5e, no, but just D&D, maybe the simplicity of D&D. And another thing that I like is that we have willpower points as we have in Forbidden Lands, but it doesn't work exactly as in Forbidden Lands. So if you are familiar to Vaesen or Tales from the Loop, we when we push, we have a condition to our character, so we don't earn willpower points when we push here. So the willpower points, it's basically your will value. So if you have higher will, we will have more willpower points, and we use willpower points to trigger our some abilities that we might have, to cast spells, and so on. And the hit points is your constitution. So if you have higher constitutions, you have higher hit points. If you have low constitution, you have low hit points. And the game is actually pretty deadly. And these checkboxes here that you can see, if you roll a dragon or a demon, a dragon is a success. So if you roll a 1, it's a critical success. And if you roll a 20, it's a critical failure. And if you roll one of them, when you are playing, you just check this box here. And when the GM allows, you can roll to see if you increase by 1 point your skill. And basically, you need to roll above your number. So if for instance, if I failed my acrobatics a critical failure, I just check here and I have 12. So in the next session, or at the end of the session, or at the beginning of the next session, when the GM allows, I can just roll a die. And if I roll more than 12, I just have 1 additional point in acrobatics. In this case, I failed, meaning that I will just erase this checkbox, and I didn't level up my skill. It's really simple. There is this is basically everything for the game. The combat is good too, because in the combat, basically you just need to roll your weapon skill under your weapon skill in order to succeed. So there is no AC, there is no target number with X's, for instance. So if I want to hit with an X, I just roll it, and in this case it was 13, and it means that I succeed. But the character, or my target, my enemy, can choose to dodge or parry my attack. So if they want to dodge, they roll evade. So in this case it's 12, so they just need to roll evade, and in this case I would have succeeded. But it costs 1 action. So in a combat, we only have 2 actions. We have the movement and the action, basically that. So your action, you can attack, you can get an item, you can cast a spell, and a lot of odd stuff. But you can, okay, if I am someone is attacking me, and if I haven't used my action, I can, as a reaction, spend my action to defend myself by parrying or by dodging, and it's really good action economy in this system, and it brings a little bit more strategy to the table as well when we have several characters. And yeah, someone could just be really the tank, try just defending and so on, and expose himself or themselves to be the target, and no attacks, while the other companions and corners, they are just attacking and shooting or whatever. So it's a good action economy. The initiative system, it's basically the same as we have for Forbidden Lands. So instead of rolling dice, we just get cards from the initiative deck. So I could say, okay, this is going to be player 1, player 2, player 3, and the monster, for instance. So the lowest number start. And we do this every round. So as soon as everyone acted, we just shuffle the deck and and start it over. So next round it would be different, and that's it. Really simple. There are some, of course, there are other rules for a lot of things. If you roll a dragon, meaning a critical success while you are pairing, you can counterattack, and there are a lot of talents that can change some stuff and bring bonus and effects to the table, to the combat. So there are a lot of things that I'm not going to go deep into. But what I would like to talk is this booklet here. Just few pages. I do not know how many pages it has. It's about 12, I think. Not 12. Yeah, 12 pages, I would say. Yeah, in total. And this is so cool. This is so simple, and it worked really well. So you can use Dragonbane rules as written. There is no need to change anything. Just few adaptations that you should do if you are playing solo with one character. Of course, because your one character is going to be really weak. So if you are going to play solo by having a party of 3 or 4, it's okay. But if it's going to be just one character, these rules here, extra rules, might help you a lot, because there are 2 additional heroic abilities here. One that allows you to have more initiative cards, so basically 2, meaning that in the same round you can act twice. So you can use one action to attack, for instance, and another one to defend yourself, or attack twice or defend twice. So you can have it, or you can have this other heroic ability here that allows you to push a roll without suffering a condition. So as I said, when we would like to push reroll, we need to get one condition, meaning that we will have a bane on every single roll that requires that attribute. So with this talent here, we are free of this condition, but of course it costs willpower points. So almost all heroic abilities, they cost some kind of willpower points, although there are some that they do not require, but most of them requires. If you go, this booklet is called Alone in the Deep Fall. It has basically a small setting that the solo player can use in their adventure. So it tells a story of a specific location. It has basically, I would say, a patron that guides you through or gives you some quests to do. But the way that it happens is great. But before going deep into this specific part, it has some ideas for oracles that it's called fortune chart. So you just roll a d6, and basically I would say if you roll 1 is an extreme no, if you roll a 6 is an extreme yes, and 2 and 3 mean no, and 4 and 5 mean yes. So this is basically the oracle for the game. If you see that it might have more chances of happening, you roll an additional die, or maybe even more die. If you see, okay, it's the probability is really high that it should happen, so I will roll it and keep the highest one. On the other hand, if I feel that, okay, the probability is really low, I could roll more die and just keep the lowest one. So basically that it's a very simple mechanic, and these oracle can be applied not only for yes or no, but for everything. Oh, sorry. For everything. So it could be number, scale, power, quality, reaction, everything. So if I see a creature, is it hostile? And I roll a 3, and a 3 means worry. So wary. I think it's wary, right? So this is the reaction. So it's not hostile, at least yet, but it's aware that I'm there. Some inspiration table tool with actions and attributes and things. So one can roll d20 several times and get some inspiration, like find, 4 corrupted, and 12 message. And then we could have an adventure, or sometime this is just to describe things. So it's basically an open oracle that we can use to answer some questions too. Some suggestions: if I roll a dragon or a demon while I'm playing, okay, what should happen? So just roll a d6. If it's a dragon, a critical success, I can roll a d6, and in a 5, you trigger an unexpected beneficial effect. Okay, and what is this effect? I do not know. Maybe I could get an action. And 19 is summon. Okay, so my critical success summons things, or someone else appears to help me on my battle or something like that. So a lot of simple mechanics that are really well structured and very easy to be used. Some templates for simple NPCs like minions and bosses and so on. And there is this NPC attack table too. If you are not sure what the enemy is going to do, or if you don't want to decide by yourself, you can just roll in this table. So this is for ranged attacker. For instance, it's someone with a bow. I roll a d6 and it is a 2. It says take a shot. So the NPC makes a ranged attack. Okay, it's going to shoot. They are going to shoot. And cool, very cool. And if you are not sure, okay, something bad happens, maybe you fall, or maybe a trap, or whatever, I do not know, maybe something affected you and you are not sure how much damage you are going to suffer. So you just roll a d6 here, and you can check in this table. Okay, a 5 is a moderate damage, meaning that you take 2d6 damage. In this case, it was 8, but it could be a 2 d10s if it's severe damage, or if it is a slight damage, it could be a d6. And after this introduction, they go to this setting, the shepherd and the wolf. And I will not ruin anything here, no spoilers, nothing like that. I'm just going to go through the structure, because we have this Patreon engulfer that helps us actually give us some quests to do. And the way that it is structured is something that I like it a lot, because I had this in the past, and sometimes I still have this difficulty on starting my session, like a lack of creativity, or maybe even motivation, or something like that. So it's hard to start, right? So what it does, basically, it provides you like small framework with some bullet points that you can use to structure your adventure. And yeah, this is exactly what it is. So it defines some waypoints, and maybe and one threat, and then you just play through these waypoints. So I'm not going to use what we have here in the booklet in order to avoid spoilers, but one waypoint could be, let's assume that we have 5 waypoints. So I could say, okay, the first waypoint is that you are in the entrance of a cave, and this cave is really cold, it's raining a lot, and you can see some footprints on the snow. And that is the first waypoint. And as a threat for the whole adventure, and I could say it's 5 waypoints. So during these 5 waypoints, I'm going to have my first mission. And while I'm going through these, I have a threat that could happen at any time. So let's see that there is a Yeti, a starving Yeti nearby. And the way that the threat works is I start the threat as in the first level. And if I stop to rest, for instance, or if something delays my progress, or anything else, maybe a critical failure or something like that, anything that I feel that could happen that delays me to reach my goal, I just increase this number. And when this number reaches the number 6, this die reach the number 6, it means that the threat happens. So in this example, let's see, I go to the cave, and now maybe I had a combat situation, and then I got a severe wound, and I need to stop a little bit to rest, to heal myself, and so on. So as the game goes by, I see, okay, I already spent a lot of time, the number here is increasing, and now it's 6, the Yeti will appear, and it will attack me. Something like that. So this is the simple structure, and it has and in order to help you, not only the framework, but there are other stuff here, because we do have, for instance, location detail. So for this first example, this first waypoint, it is a cave, right? As I said, it's the entrance to a cave. But if I'm not sure, I do not know, maybe the first waypoint I'm trying to create myself. So let's just roll in an area table, and I have 3, and it says burrowed tunnel. Okay, so it's a tunnel. So I could say that there is a tunnel, and I would need to roll D4 and see how many location details I have. So I roll here 2 in this case. I have 2 location details, meaning that I need to roll 2d4 to see the detail type. So 3 and 2 is 1 environment and 1 oddity. So I have these subtables here, and I need to roll an oddity and an environment. So I have 18. The 18 is slimy surfaces, and 13 is reversed gravity as an oddity. So I have a tunnel on the floor, buried tunnel with slimy surfaces and reverse gravity, and I can try to fit these in my game. If I'm not sure, as I said at the beginning, there are some footprints, so I could roll in an inhabitant table to see what it could be. So in the 7, we have some adventures. Okay, maybe someone is already there. And if I try if I kill a creature and so on, I'm not sure what I can find in the body. There is this scavenge table here, so I just roll a d10. And in my case, a 4 and from 2 to 4 means nothing to note or of note. But if I roll a 10 or even a 7, I can have 1 treasure card. And this game has this treasure deck. So I can just buy a treasure card. And in this case, I have found 4 d6 Cooper. So I just roll it, and I have this amount of Cooper in the body of the creature or whatever. So, and man, it's so simple, just a few pages, and we still have. If I'm searching the area, right? I'm searching the area. I just need to roll spot hidden, and after, if I succeed, I can roll a d10, and I just use this table here, the search table, and in a 6, in this example, it's a 1 treasure card. Great, I find a treasure card. and it is, oh, I just got the same card. So it is a melee weapon. So I roll a d6, and in my case, it's a parrying dagger. So a parrying dagger. It's the treasure that I have found there. And that's it. If it's a trap, I have a trap table. And from here, we start the whole framework, the whole adventure that it has already prepared. So the captive orc is the first one, the cultist Warren is the second one, and actually, yes, and the third one is the mage's refugee. The soul tree is the fourth one, and the fifth one is the orc's forge. And beyond the bridge, in the end, they teach us how to create our own adventure later on. So it's pretty neat. It's concise. So in the end, one can easily play Dragonbane. And now my heart is a little bit divided because I do love Forbidden Lands, but Dragonbane, it has also a really nice spot in my heart at this moment. And at the end of the rules book, we can have more tables that can help us, because there is this quest table where one can roll a d4, a d6, a d8, a d10, a d12, and a d20, and just have a mission, a quest. So there are the journey table, the adventure site, and yeah, one can use these very easily to generate some stuff. There is this table to create NPCs, and yeah, and typical NPCs as well here. So some creatures. I'm going to buy the recently the Free League released the bestiary, a bigger book only with new creatures and even new races. I'm going to buy that as well. And actually, as well, I haven't bought this one. They gave it to me, but I'm going to buy the bestiary that they just have released recently, and to complement my adventures. But Dragonbane is really cool. It's a very cool system to play solo as well. Of course, in a group session, it's going to be great, and I'm going to prepare some adventures to play with my group. Usually, I am the GM, so I'm going to GM these for them, and I'm looking forward to it. And there is this adventures book as well. It's basically the adventures to play with your group, so it's not for solo, but one could easily use these to play solo, because we have some useful tables that were designed for the adventures, but I can clearly see that we can use these. There is this demonic omens. We have here, I know that we have random events, rumors, so a lot of things that we can use in our adventures, NPCs. So one could play the adventure itself alone, of course, but one can as well use these tables, run the encounters in several locations. So really good tables. So I had to do this video. As I said, I unfortunately I do not have too much time anymore. I'm going to do a video to talk more about my current situation. But yeah, I had to find at least a few minutes to talk about Dragonbane. So if you haven't acquired it yet, if you are in doubt, man, it's a Free League product. So it's strange because it's really hard to not like something that a Free League does. So everything that they do is great. It's really great, and Dragonbane is not an exception for this fact. So I hope you liked this video, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.